Hi, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Zomboys. My name's Casey Lynch. I am here with my co-host, Mike Olksvay. Say hi, Mike.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Zomboys.
Is it sounding professional? Because we only have one mic today. We had some technical difficulties, but don't be fucking whiners about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Be warned, first and foremost, there will be quite a bit of cursing involved in the podcast, so get your fucking kids away from that stereo.
Yeah, do that. So what we do is we're both fans of zombie movies and all sorts of shit like that. So we figured, why not review all of them? Which may take a couple decades.
All at once we're doing it, though, so it's a really, really long podcast.
Yeah, this is going to be 30 hours of us reviewing 500 zombie movies. So we're going to have to move quick. So we're going to review zombie movies. We're going to do good ones, bad ones, and everything in between.
Ooh, and boy, do we have a in-between one for you today.
Today's pretty in between. It was good enough, and, well, that's about it. It was good enough. It was a movie I would watch and not be disappointed with. Although I'm thinking bad or good would be better for this podcast, but we'll see how this goes. So today's movie was called Rezort, or was it The Resort? I don't remember.
The Resort, spelled with a Z, of course, instead of an S for resort.
You get it? Because it's zombies.
You had to have a good zombie throw in there.
Yeah, or else we would have no idea if it didn't have that Z. But thank God it had that Z.
The tagline is a vacation to die for. Doesn't really make sense, honestly, in the context of this movie once you watch it.
It's not really the point of the resort. I'm going to try to make sure to enunciate that Z so you don't forget. You got the summary of or is that it?
Yeah, so no, that was not the summary.
That wasn't the summary?
Although I feel like, and the audience will know as we go on with this, or if they've seen this movie, that the summary on IMDb does not quite make too much sense considering the movie itself. So, the summary, according to IMDb, is following a near-apocalyptic zombie outbreak, humans are once again in control. If an occasional rogue zombie finds its way into everyday life, it is quickly disposed of by the authorities. In this day and age, people know how to handle Z's, quote-unquote. In the latest craze, is the zombie safari. Zafari.
Ooh, shit. A lot of that was not in the movie, but I like it.
A chance to go out and shoot the undead in the wild. The ultimate blood sport experience. And for many, the ultimate therapeutic revenge following the losses suffered during the outbreak. Little do the vacationers realize they're actually in a highly controlled environment where the zombies are always kept at a safe shooting distance. Nothing is left to chance. Nothing is unplanned. So far.
That's kind of... I mean, a lot of it's just lies.
Yeah.
It seems like they knew the whole time it was controlled.
For sure.
Like how zombies were just strapped to boards for a lot of it. Never did they call them Z's.
Not once did anyone call the zombies Z's.
No mention of the word Zafari, but oh man, I wish they fucking said that. That would have been great.
That would have been pretty awesome.
That would have been good. What else? You see any other mistakes in there?
Not once did you see a rogue zombie finding its way into everyday life during the movie.
No.
Not even implied, really.
Yeah,
it wasn't...
It was only kind of implied at the end, which we don't have to get to yet. Although, obviously, spoilers for this movie. We're going to spoil it. So if you really want to watch The Resort...
Don't do it. The other tagline for this movie apparently was also Humanity's Last Stand, which also doesn't make
which isn't true
sense at all.
That's the tagline for the first... That's the tagline for the prequel to this movie. So if they ever make a prequel to The Resort, that's a fair tagline. Not for this, though. So you want to just fucking jump right into this?
Yeah, I guess we might as well. Keep in mind, guys, this movie came out in 2015, so it is a newer movie, and it has a 5.3 rating on IMDb.
That sounds about right.
Average,
yeah,
like we said.
That sounds about right.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't Dawn of the Dead. I'll say that.
No. No, it was.
It wasn't the gold standard of zombie movies,
it was
but
smack dab in the middle there.
I mean, it wasn't the worst zombie movie I've ever seen either.
No, it was a movie I could watch and be satisfied that I watched it. Nothing I would brag about, but if you like zombie movies, you are used to many, many bad ones. Because there are many, many bad ones. So what we're going to do normally is we'll, ask ourselves a few questions like, have we seen this movie before? We both have not, correct?
No, this is my first time seeing it.
So we'll skip a lot of that. But yeah, so let's just get right into this. Oh, do you want to do our what they are type of thing?
Yeah, let's start with that. With what kind of zombies are they?
Yeah.
What the fuck are these things?
So we kind of figured that there is zombies and there are zombie movies. And zombie movies, quote unquote, don't always have to have the, stereotypical zombie, undead flesh-eating creature. So we're going to talk about what these things are in our segment. Previously said, what the fuck are these things? So first is, how do they move?
So there's two styles of movement in this movie.
Yes.
You have some that are classic Romero shambling zombies.
Yes.
The older ones. And then you have 28 Days Later style fast-moving zombies.
Yeah, the point of that is if you're a newly bitten zombie, you're faster, and the older ones are slower. We're going to talk about something weird about that later with some sort of heating them up to make them older or something. I don't know. We'll get into that. It's weird. Next is, what do they eat? Some zombies will eat brains. Some will just eat human flesh.
This just ate people.
It just seemed to eat people.
Just ripped into people and ate them.
Yeah, never saw them eating any animals, which I always like to see. Just, I don't know why, because I'm just curious about that. But yeah, they do eat human flesh. They do not eat food, which we'll get into in other movies. And yeah, so can other creatures be zombies? We don't really know.
Yeah, we don't know in this movie.
We've never seen if they birds or whatever, in Resident Evil. How do they become zombies? Isn't the next one?
So we have two ways that they said specifically in the movie. One was within contact with blood, the zombie blood, I guess through mucous membranes, eyes, mouth, stuff like that, or getting bitten. Now, we don't know how long it takes to turn into a zombie, because no one in the movie turned into a zombie in front of our eyes.
Somebody almost did, which we'll get into later. It was pretty gruesome. One of our favorite characters. One of them. We won't say which one yet. And the thing I want to mention about the blood is, they said blood. However, they kept touching zombie blood. Constantly. They just constantly were like, oh, what's this? Zombie blood? Oh, okay. I'm going to touch this and look at it. Didn't seem like a smart idea any time, and it might have just been one character who kept doing it over and over. We won't say if they die or not, but they might. Sorry, I started talking quietly. I forgot we're using one mic. Yeah, so those are the thing. Maybe they said something about saliva, maybe also didn't come up at all. And then just the last one is what they are. Walking corpses, infected, or something else?
These were infected.
They
they had some kind of disease that now I forget the name of, although we just watched this movie 20 minutes ago.
The something with a C?
Something about chromosomes, I want to say.
Yeah, chromosome. Yes, so it's some sort of infection. They're not actually dead. They're just infected, which is kind of what most zombie movies are nowadays.
Yeah, so they did have some sort of infection, so it was that style.
Yeah, it was.
But they also only mentioned the infection twice throughout the entire hour and a half of the movie.
Yeah, it's not really important to this movie to explain it. Which, I mean, who really cares how it happens? It's obviously it's not real. Although I do believe zombies can happen, and we'll get to that in one episode probably. All right, so should we just fucking start going with this this review?
Yeah, we might as well. So, to start, it starts with a fake news report.
Yeah.
Of the aftermath of what's going to happen in the movie.
Of what would have been probably a better movie.
Yeah, so it's like a fake news report. It looks like CNN almost, with the ticker and stuff on the bottom.
Yeah.
And they're talking about this protocol for bombing the island, the zombie resort island.
Yes.
And then the planes fly overhead, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is at like the end of the movie.
Yeah.
They're starting with the end.
Yeah, I assumed they would jump back.
And then they jump back, but didn't alert you to that they jumped back. It just kind of faded to black from that.
Yeah.
And then it was like, boop, now we're in an apartment.
It did say, oh, did it? Oh, no, yeah, it did say 10 days before.
Did it? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it's fine. The opening was kind of the very first opening scene, like the first opening 2 minutes was like kind of guerrilla style shooting of a news reporter who probably was somewhere she wasn't supposed to be, and it was just like completely inaudible, which will come up sometimes in this movie where characters just are speaking and the dialogue isn't important, so you can't hear it. But yeah, so it's 10 days later, and there's this woman.
10 days earlier.
Sure.
Earlier.
I forget those mean opposite.
Yeah, early, it's the opposite.
Yes.
10 days earlier.
It's 10 days earlier, and this woman's in just a dark room, and she's holding a flyer for this zombie resort. And
so here's where we'll start with that. All of the characters in this movie looked like someone else.
Yes.
They looked like another star. She looked like a low-rent Kate Beckinsale.
Yes.
So we'll probably refer to her as Kate Beckinsale throughout the rest of this movie.
Yeah, we didn't look up any of the actors' names. Maybe if we do a bigger budget zombie movie, we will do that. But for our purposes...
These are all people that...
These are all probably picked out from celebrity lookalikes, like, an agency.
Yeah.
So this is Kate Beckinsale. Definitely. Not a lookalike, it is Kate Beckinsale.
She was really hard up after those Underworld movies.
Yeah.
She had to jump on over to the zombie genre.
Yeah. So Kate Beckinsale, it's, clear she had some traumas in the zombie war, which I'm sure most people did. Night terrors, I mean, we don't need to get specific about this, right?
No, but she has, this boyfriend who looks almost like one of the Francos.
Yeah, Lil Franco. He kind of looked like Lil Franco, but a little buffer and a little older.
Yeah, but he had an Irish accent, but I'm still not convinced that it was a real Irish accent.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an American guy putting on a fake Irish accent.
For the first half, we thought he was doing a fake British accent because it sounded so bad. And then we were like, oh, he's Irish? Okay. So, we don't know.
And then as the movie went on, I was still like, it's a fake Irish accent, isn't it?
It sounded more real, but still maybe it was fake. And he wasn't a great actor.
No. So apparently he's like a veteran from the zombie war. You find that out in a little bit.
Yeah.
And apparently Kate Beckinsale's dad died in the zombie war and left her a message. And her therapist thinks it would be therapeutic for her to go to this zombie resort island and kill zombies, I guess, to get some kind of closure.
Does the therapist think that?
Because you'd never see the therapist. She just kind of mentions it real quick in passing.
Okay, I thought someone else did. Doesn't matter.
That's
not important.
It was her therapist. It was like, oh, I think it would be a good idea if you went there.
Okay.
So they book this vacation to this very expensive, apparently, resort,
which she pays for.
For him as well. And they fly down to.
Don't be sexist. Women can pay for things too.
I mean, yeah.
They can.
So they fly down to some Spanish-speaking country.
Yes.
Because everything on the walls at the airport are all in Spanish.
Yeah, it seemed very war-torn. So obviously an area that was probably affected horribly by the zombie war previously.
Or it could have just been Mexico today.
Yeah, just some country that was having some sort of difficulties where a UNICEF type thing was there also.
Yeah. So,
and it's important to point out her boyfriend is very excited about this.
Yeah, he's very excited about going to the zombie island and killing some zombies. As honestly, I would be as well.
Oh, fuck yeah.
This would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I was watching this movie and I was like, this idea is pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to hunt people just regular, but zombies would be more fun.
Oh yeah, I would hunt the heck out of some people.
Yeah, it's the most dangerous game.
Of course.
Yeah.
With Ice-T. Wasn't he in that movie? Or was it Ice Cube?
I don't know.
I always get the two ices confused.
Yeah. I don't know that movie. I just like the idea of hunting people.
So they
please don't inform the authorities, please, or I will hunt you. No, I won't. Let's not get sued on our first episode.
So they fly into this
I think in today's current climate, we wouldn't call them shithole countries.
All right, so they fly to this shitty country.
Okay, good workaround.
All right, so they fly into this
this
impoverished
country. Yes,
and they land there, and they go get on the boat to go to Zombie Island.
Now
That's
remember,
what we're gonna call it from now on,
Zombie Island,
because it doesn't have an actual name.
Yeah,
it's just called the Resort.
Yeah,
that's what they refer to it as.
Yes.
So I will call it Zombie Island.
And remember, this is a very expensive trip they're going on. It's a very expensive island. So they get on the boat to go there, which is
but before we get
ahead?
on the boat, you are skipping two of my favorite parts of the movie.
Okay, I'm sorry.
One where we get introduced to a kid who looks like Eggsy.
Yes,
from
Eggsy.
The Kingsman.
Yes. Eggsy, he also had the sort of urban British accent.
Yeah, he had the Cockney British accent going, so it's
really
really good.
Cockney.
Yeah, it was like the low rent. It wasn't the high British accent.
No, that's why I say
like
urban, because it was more.
Yeah, it's like the
listeners, tweet at us. We'll give you the Twitter after this. Tweet at us if there's differences.
So we meet Eggsy.
Or we can just debate about this for 20 minutes.
We could do that too.
No, okay.
So we meet Eggsy.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his real name is.
Did we say he's from the Kingsman?
Yeah, Eggsy from the Kingsman.
Yeah, Eggsy from the Kingsman.
Looks exactly like the kid, has the same accent as Eggsy. It's pretty great. Although he has some weird flag shaved into the side of his head.
Yeah, which
threw me off. I hated this kid right away.
Oh, we were like, fucking kill this kid immediately.
So there's this kid, and then there's his friend, whose name is Alfie. Who's a Chinese British man. And
Chinese? Oh yeah, some sort of Asian.
Sort of Asian.
Yeah.
I'm defaulting to Chinese.
Biggest.
But he could have been any sort of Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
Could have been Korean.
Yes.
Could have been anything.
Please list them all.
Could have been Laos. Could have been from Laos.
No, he wasn't Laotian, you idiots. I don't know, but yeah, he was an Asian fellow, which is not important.
But important thing to point out is that he didn't have a racist Asian accent.
No.
They gave him a regular British accent.
Yeah, which happens.
Which I thought was, very, very far-thinking forward.
I don't think it was. I think it's just common that different people live in different countries.
I mean, well, yeah, but I think movie world,
when you
usually...
go, especially zombie movie world, you go into, this is going to be offensive in some way, which it wasn't.
So it wasn't offensive as far as the way races or women were presented.
Yeah, except the two Cockney gents, not Cockney, the two British gents did say, Alfie said he wanted to, what?
Fuck that girl until it broke off.
Yeah.
And then he goes, not her ass, more dick.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, there we go.
So at least he's respectful and doesn't want to hurt her ass, just his dick.
And then we saw my second favorite character in the movie, low rent Russell Brand.
Oh yeah.
The bartender who has one line in the entire movie.
He has one line, but he fucking looked like Russell Brand.
But he looked just like Russell Brand.
It is actually amazing the amount of people who look similar to other famous actors. He was really your second favorite?
Yeah, he was my second favorite of the movie.
Okay.
For sure. My first favorite we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah.
During this whole introduction scene, you also have like this slimy businessman looking guy who's explaining to some like potential investors about the island.
Yeah. And
he says that the lady who runs the island got into it because she bid to clean up the island from zombies, and then instead of cleaned it up, built a resort there. Which brings us to a very Jurassic Park type vibe going on.
Which is interesting because I didn't hear anything that guy said, so it is good you heard it.
Yes.
A lot of the dialogue was like kind of under the sound, under the music, and I just couldn't pick it up. But yeah, so now we're heading off to this island. I think
get on this boat.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, this is where I was going before. This island must have cost them millions to possibly billions. They get on
a fishing boat. It looks like they took a fishing boat and put a different skin on the outside. For the movie.
They put a Z on the outside with a Z flag,
and then they
for zombies.
They covered up the front fishing fighting chair like you would have on a fishing boat with a piece of plywood, so it didn't look like a seat.
It really tricked us.
And this boat looked like it held maybe 5 people at most.
Yeah, which is maybe have a luxury sort of vessel to get them there, but whatever, not important. Just a little funny thing to point out.
Now they pull up to the island and they get off on a very rickety looking dock.
Yeah, it's like okay. Yeah, and at the end of this dock is this incredibly huge facility, beautiful sort of like almost rehab facility.
To which then the Jurassic Park music starts. And dun, dun,
Yeah,
no, it didn't happen.
It didn't?
No, but they did climb into...
But Chris Pratt was there.
They did climb into Jeep Wranglers at this point.
Yes, they did.
Convertible Jeep Wranglers with big Z on the side.
Yeah.
To drive up to the facility.
We were worried about them being convertibles, but don't worry, everyone. They aren't convertibles later.
Yeah, it's not later. Later they use not Jeep Wranglers, and we'll get into that as well.
But yeah, it looked like Jeep Wranglers with sort of like zebra, red and white sort of camo, which had a sort of Jurassic Park vibe, obviously.
Yeah, and now they go up to the facility, and once again they're walking them up to their room, and the two young British guys are talking all kinds of nonsense.
They're still being very shitty.
And I'm just thinking the whole time how much I hate them.
Yes, please die, please die.
And then you find out that there's orientation going on, and their orientation is to go to a shooting range.
Yes.
So they go to a shooting range, and the two British kids are shooting these fully automatic weapons and shooting all over the place.
It's what you would imagine, too, like, kind of kids who want to be urban would do if they had an assault rifle, just like... Yeah, that is. So it was like that.
Yeah, they just sprayed all over the place. And It's pretty terrible.
And yeah, so that fiction is that they shoot one clip and leave. There's no instruction. There's no sort of hey, don't shoot other humans. Be careful. Or here's how you shoot. It was that. That's it. And they suck.
Yeah, so they're terrible. So then finally, our main character, Kate Beckinsale, comes in.
Yes.
As in the second group, and they give everyone else has automatic weapons. The one kid's shooting like a P90, like. Cool stuff. They give her like a high point pistol. Yeah. Like a shitty pistol. Not even a Glock. Yeah. Like it's a knockoff. Yeah. Shitty pistol.
It was a Nerf gun.
And they were like, the instructor comes over. He's like, "Oh, do you need help?" And her boyfriend's like, "No, I got this."
Yeah. So maybe a little sexism, giving her a pistol.
And so they're like, "Oh, I got this." And her boyfriend's like, "I have experience in the war." Yeah. And that's where we find out that he's a veteran in the war, because they didn't mention it beforehand.
No, but...
and then she shoots like 2 times at the target, and then it goes to a party that they're having. Yeah. At the pool.
Oh, yeah, the pool. I forgot about the pool.
Yeah, so they're having a party at the pool, they're having drinks and stuff like that, and the owner of the island comes out and it's like, "I believe that every apocalypse deserves an after party."
Yeah, but here's one thing I wanted to point out. It's like supposed to be either therapeutic or fun. Yeah. The first part of her speech is really fucking depressing.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It is like if you literally just got back from war and had like PTSD, and like you go to a resort to like heal, and it's like, "Hey, remember the hell you went through? I'm gonna talk to you about it in detail." Which just felt weird, like at a party. But yeah, and then she's like, "Every apocalypse needs an after party."
Which that should have been the tagline for the movie.
That would have been great.
Not a vacation to die for.
Yeah.
It should have been every apocalypse deserves an after party.
A vacation to die for sounds like a shitty horror movie. Yeah. Like a really shitty horror movie, which this was not. Like
no, and I have to say I had passed this movie up several times. Yeah. For watching it, because I was like, it's going to be really cheesy and shitty.
Yeah, the name, the Resort, does sound really shitty. But I mean, I guess it makes sense in the premise of the movie.
So, I guess apparently they go to sleep. They don't show them going to sleep after this whole thing. Oh, the lady brings out a zombie in, like, chains and, like, walks up to its face, and you think she's going to kiss it.
Yeah, we were rooting for that.
But she didn't kiss it. It didn't turn into a lesbian zombie movie. No. I was a little upset.
So we turned it off. All right, goodbye, everyone.
We turned it off and looked up a lesbian zombie.
Yeah. In different rooms, though. In different rooms.
So,
but yeah, I guess that was her saying, "Look, it's safe, don't worry," which also goes against what the IMDb thing says.
Exactly.
They're showing it's safe.
So, then at that point they go and, now it's the next morning, they're all getting into their vehicles to go out on safari. Zafari.
Did you skip what the blonde did?
Oh, no, yes, I did. Yeah. Alright, so there's one blonde woman that we couldn't figure out who she looked like.
Which was a shame, because now she'll have no name other than blonde woman.
Yeah, and she has, like, pink tips on her hair.
Yes.
And she goes in, and she looks like a shitty millennial who's gonna go in and, like, hack into the system because she feels bad for the zombies.
Yeah, and, which I called right away. You see her, like, she, like, breaks in and does whatever, like, sort of, espionage-esque shit.
And she, like, types in this password into the system and, like, plugs something in. Yeah. And then unplugs her USB stick and then runs away.
Yeah.
So now it's the next morning.
Yeah.
And they're getting in their safari vehicles. And the Cockney British kids are there, and they're terrible. And
it's the Cockney British kids. It is Kate Beckinsale and
her
knockoff
boyfriend.
Franco.
Yeah, her boyfriend. And then a guy who we named Billy Badass.
Yes, because he looked like Billy Burke.
Yeah, he looked like Billy
He
Burke.
looked like Billy Burke, so we call him Billy Badass because he is the like quintessential like tough, not soft-spoken guy who will fuck shit up, and you can tell that from the get-go.
And he climbs right in the front of the truck, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here."
Yeah, the guy's like, "Oh, I had you at the guy who's going to drive the truck, the park."
The Asian man who was going to drive the truck, who
Yeah.
also didn't have a racist Asian accent.
No
racist Asian accents in this entire movie.
And I mean, to be fair, an Asian accent doesn't mean it's racist, but
Well, usually when they're done,
well, people
it's
from
done
I'm just saying, people from Asia typically have Asian accents, but that's fine.
So,
but yeah, what are you going to call him? The park ranger?
yeah, park ranger or their tour guide.
Tour guide is probably better.
So they climb into these trucks, and it's no longer a Jeep Wrangler. It's now like a Land Rover, like an old Land Rover looking truck.
Yeah.
That's like an $80,000 truck.
Yeah.
So they get into like this $80,000 truck, and now they're in the control room, just like Jurassic Park.
Oh, the blonde's with them too, right?
Yeah, the blonde's with them too.
Yeah. Sorry.
And now they're in the control room like it's like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're checking all the fences and all the locks and everything.
Yeah.
And now on the Indian guy's screen, the Indian guy who's like the guy in Jurassic World who wears the Jurassic Park
Jake Johnson.
shirt. Yeah, like Jake Johnson.
He's the Jake Johnson of this movie.
He's like, oh.
There was no Lauren Lapkus, but there was a Jake Johnson.
He goes, oh, he's like, there's 3 corrupted files in the thing. And another guy comes up and he's like, well, what are we going to do about it? He's like, we'll just run the program and clean them after today.
Yeah, they kind of didn't want to tell the boss lady because they didn't, obviously they'd get in big trouble.
They'd get spanked and then it would be a completely different movie.
I keep forgetting how sexual we make things.
But
yeah, so basically he's like, fuck it, I'll fix it later. Which nothing bad will happen because of that. Don't worry.
Don't worry about that. So they send these people off. They open the doors, and an alarm goes off. Wah, wah. Everybody inside the loading bay where these trucks are takes off running. Like there's zombies waiting right outside the door.
Yeah, it was
not.
No,
it's not.
It's not. Yeah, it just opens doors to the outside.
They ran away into the back and like closed doors and stuff.
Yeah,
and then the trucks drive out. And they go reclose the doors, and there's a malfunction in the doors lock.
Yeah, just for a split second. But...
And he does something on his computer, and bam, fixes it. And he's like, oh, the computer's been slow this morning, he tells the boss lady.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to fucking spank you.
So now the trucks take off, they go down the road, all dirt roads and stuff, because it's an island, obviously.
Yeah. He's like, and they're driving along a fence, and he says, when we get inside the fence, that's where the zombies will be. Or some shit like that,
Yeah,
right?
he's like, oh, we put up fences so they don't herd all together.
Oh, right, to keep them kind of...
We have them kind of separated in different parts of the island.
Yeah. Just like another movie that I can't think of, though.
Yeah,
where
just like
have
another
things
movie
separated.
where there's fences and you drive along them and things are separated on different parts of the island.
Are you guys getting it? It's like Jurassic Park with zombies,
It is.
which was probably one of their taglines.
That also should have been the tagline for the movie.
Yeah.
It's Jurassic Park with zombies.
Yeah, which I would have immediately watched.
So now they go and they're driving past and they're like, oh, look, there's another group on their shooting area.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of guys standing on top of like a cliff.
It's a big boulder, like a big rock.
Like a big rock cliff face looking thing.
That they're just firing
and they're just
down.
shooting off the top of it into the crowd of zombies that's below. Like, it doesn't even seem like it would be fun at all.
It doesn't seem like it'd be fun, and also, they didn't have like backpacks or extra ammo. So what if they ran out of ammo and now they have to climb down this cliff where zombies are assumedly surrounding them? So I don't know, just not good security in this island.
So they drive, and then it cuts over to another group of guys who we haven't met yet.
Oh yeah, which we don't worry, they're not important. In
like a city, and they're walking through, and now there's zombies on like targets that swing out, and they're like bolted to the targets.
Yeah.
And people shoot at them, and the one guy has like an Uzi, and he's the worst shot in the world.
It's like comical,
he just like shoots everybody, all the zombies in like the chest.
Yeah.
And as they're driving along, he gives them all the rules of you got to shoot the zombies in the head if you want them to die. Body shots don't kill them, so classic Romero zombie trope.
Yeah.
If you got to shoot them in the head. You got if you get bitten, that's when you're going to turn into a zombie.
Yeah.
The fast ones are the new ones, the slow ones are the old ones. He says, no worries, because all the zombies on the island are old,
Yes.
so we shouldn't have any fast zombies.
Yeah.
So...
Hint, hint, a little foreshadowing, maybe?
They go to their zombie shooting spot, and it's the same thing. They climb up on rocks and shoot from a cliff down below. And the first two people that decide to shoot are the two British teenagers that we absolutely hate.
Yes.
Eggsy and Alfie. And Alfie stands there first and shoots his gun and misses everything.
Does not hit us.
There's a crowd of zombies below. Misses everything.
It's absurd.
And then Eggsy goes, I'll show you how to do it.
Okay, and that's Australian.
And he gets down on one knee, so at least he's in some sort of proper shooting position now. And shoots a bunch, shoots the ground like 50 times, and then eventually hits a zombie in the chest a little bit. Yeah. And then Billy Badass.
Oh, boy.
Has his gun. Well, first the boyfriend.
Yeah, Franco, he shoots one in the head, like just one shot, boom. And then he gives the gun to Kate Beckinsale in her hot leather jumpsuit from the Underworld movies. And she's like, so she's holding up the gun and looking at the zombie. And
then it looks up at her.
And it looks up at her, and she's, and she's kind of hesitant to kill zombies. And she said, like, it looked at me, which, I guess is foreshadowing, but barely. We'll get into that later, but it's barely foreshadowing. It's not important at all. But then, of course, Billy Badass. What kind of gun does he have?
He's got an M14 rifle, which is really, really nice. Good choice.
Yeah, great choice, Billy Badass.
And just starts popping headshots off.
If you didn't think he was going to be the badass until this point, you now know, like, oh, he's going to be like the tough guy in the movie who saves everyone or whatever.
And then the activist lady also doesn't shoot any zombies.
Yeah.
So now they skip over that pretty quick. It happens just for a little bit. And then
nothing seems
now
too
it's
important.
nighttime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the best thing.
Now it's nighttime.
Now it's nighttime.
And they roll up to the camp of where they're going to sleep.
It's a camp, like an outdoor camp.
It's an outdoor camp with no fence around it.
No fence around it. And it was just like teepees too.
Yeah, it was just like cloth, nice looking cloth tents, but
it's
like cloth tents nonetheless.
Yeah, it'd be like if you were at Burning Man, like this is what you'd sleep in.
Yeah.
And even if like you assume you're safe because like the zombies are fenced off or whatever, you wouldn't feel safe with zombies around sleeping in tents.
Not at all.
I would not feel safe.
So now hippie lady is on the hood of one of the trucks drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And Kate Beckinsale comes up and they're talking about the zombies. And she's like, they're just us, is what the hippie lady says.
Yeah.
And then they share a beer and they climb up onto the hood together. And I was hoping for some lesbian kisses again.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. But then all of a sudden a zombie comes out of the thing. Because now all hell breaks loose. You see back at the camp.
That shit's going down. Minute 35?
Yeah, like 35 minutes into the movie now.
Yeah, we finally have zombie attacks.
Shit hits the fan back in the control center. All the doors start getting unlocked.
Which we kind of discussed. If a system resets, we don't know why everything would unlock.
Yeah, the system goes through a reset.
I mean, which I guess there's like a virus. Part 2, actually, also.
And they do a reboot and everything unlocks. Which I would think they would default everything to staying locked.
Yeah, and have sort of like a manual thing where like if you needed to unlock a door, you could have like a key or something, and not just everything opens.
And it would
in
seem
a
much
super dangerous
safer.
Park.
Yeah, it seems much safer.
This park is super dangerous if one bad thing happens.
So all hell breaks loose, and
all of it.
Then all of a sudden there's zombies in the control room. Like everything goes wrong. Yeah. 1 minute later, there's zombies in the control room. Like they kept them right next door to the control room.
You would imagine that like you're in this big facility, you can like block off doors with like furniture or something. But no, like the system reboots, and then oh shit, there's zombies right behind us.
And there's also not like any zombie response team.
No, there's no one like
there's no like badass like SWAT team. Like in Jurassic World, at least they had a badass SWAT team because it was a functioning park
with like monsters.
Yeah, like in the first Jurassic Park, understandable, it wasn't open yet.
Yeah, it wasn't open yet.
They didn't have a security team in place, but they should have had a highly trained security team ready to go all the time. Like not even like ready to go at a moment's notice, just always walking around
like
ready to kill
zombies because they are on a zombie island.
But they don't have that. So the control room gets overrun in literally about 15 seconds.
Yes.
Because no one has guns on them.
Yeah, you think
there was like one guy that had a gun on him in the control room.
Yeah, you think there'd be guns just plentiful, just a bounty of guns, but there aren't, because it's a safe island. It's the safest island to be on.
Yeah.
And this is where that so the main lady who runs the park, she has that one zombie who goes out to show we have them, and that zombie comes in at her and points at her and yells, which is like the only other time that it's like, oh, they're kind of like humans. I think that's the last payoff of that, right? They kind of don't come back to that.
They do it one more time at the end of the movie.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. So then it goes back to the camp, and the girl's like, "Oh, shoot the zombie!" to the hippie girl. Kate Beckinsale's like, "Shoot the zombie!" to the hippie girl, and the hippie girl, of course, won't do it.
Yeah.
And
Stupidly.
then Billy Badass blows up the zombie's head with his gun.
Yeah.
And then they turn on the lights on the Jeep, and they see, oh my God, there's tons of zombies.
Lots of them.
So now it start shooting zombies.
So what they do is get on top of the truck.
Yeah, so the Asian tour guide first gets in, and he says something to the radio, and they say, okay, it's going to be the...
Not Harambe.
Yeah, not the Harambe Initiative.
They're
not pulling a Harambe.
I don't know. It's something.
Brimstone.
Brimstone.
Yeah,
Why did I say Harambe?
I have no idea.
I wasn't even close. I genuinely thought I was close and that you would pick it up from that, but no, yeah.
No, it was the Brimstone Initiative.
The Brimstone Initiative, which is
or Brimstone Protocol, excuse me. Protocol.
Okay, so you fucked it up worse than I did.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. You called it Harambe.
Okay, well, that's close. When you got to take out a beast.
So he calls this in, and you have no idea what this is yet. And then they climb on top of the vehicle rather than getting into the Land Rover.
Because that would be
safe. They climb
safe.
on top of it and then start shooting.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Alfie falls off of the Jeep.
Oh yeah, why does he fall off?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But he falls off for some reason, and he gets bitten by a zombie.
And I'm sure it was Billy Badass who killed him, right?
Yeah, he gets bitten by a zombie.
So they shoot him real quick.
And then, he gets shot in the chest real quick. And now Eggsy is left all alone, and he
is devastated.
So now they stay on top of... They kill all the zombies around, and now they stay on top of the Land Rover all through the night.
All night.
And then they climb down in the morning, and the Asian guy tries to start the truck so they can get out of there, and the truck doesn't start.
Yeah.
An $80,000 truck. Just doesn't
start.
It drove us here, but now it doesn't start.
Well, I think you have to start trucks every 15 minutes to keep them going, right?
Yeah, apparently. That's British engineering for you.
Yeah, so a little, I don't know. Something that needed to happen, but they could have, oops, somebody shot the engine, not just shit, it doesn't start.
No, it doesn't start. So now they decide that they're going to go to the communications array because
they have
whenever this Brimstone Initiative happens, they firebomb the entire island to kill
get rid of zombies, which is a smart move.
So the plan is to get to the boat on the other side of the island, and to do that, they have to get back to where the control center is, and there's an underground tunnel that goes to the boat.
Yeah. And of course, the tour guide's like, "Oh, we can never walk there in time," and Billy Badass is like, "Well, I'm fucking going."
Well, I'm walking there anyway.
And we're like, "Yeah, Billy Badass."
So they all start walking. At which point now, hippie girl...
Wait, doesn't the tour guide die?
Not yet.
I thought he died when he got out of the car.
No.
And they went back to grab the map, didn't they?
No, he doesn't die until they get to the fence that they have to crawl through.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so...
Oh, yeah, right. Did somebody die getting out of the car? No, I guess not. Okay.
No. So,
I only saw half this movie.
Yeah. So now they're walking to get to this thing, and walking, mind you, not running. They have no idea how long it takes for the airplanes to get there.
Yeah, they don't know.
They just walk to the other side of the island.
And we said okay, if you're going through a tight corridor, go slow. But they're in a lot of times just in big open fields or outdoors. Fucking run.
While we see the countdown timer though in the control room.
Yeah.
And it's going to take 18 hours.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time
for the airplanes to get there. What kind of protocol is this that it gives it 18 hours for all hell to break loose before they destroy it?
Not that quick responding of a protocol.
So
it's really giving the zombies time to
zombie.
To
zombie around, yeah.
Just zombie around. Just let them zombie around.
So they're walking across the island, and now hippie girl starts talking with Alfie, or not Alfie, I'm sorry, with Eggsy,
yeah.
who we learned a little earlier is 16 years old, because he tried hitting on her, and she was like, how old are you? And he's like, 16.
And she's like...
You find out why he's also there on the island a little earlier. We did skip this part.
Yeah, it's not
that he plays a Call of Duty type game.
Yeah.
That he even says, he's like, the campaign sucks.
Yes.
The online's the best.
Yeah.
So he was playing Call of Duty, and they won a tournament, and that's why him and Alfie were there.
Yes.
So now they're walking along, and now this girl starts hitting.
Yeah, she's kind of hitting
Eggsy.
on him. First, so she grabs his hand to hold his hand, like in a gesture of sympathy, and then it cuts and their hands aren't holding anymore, which just always bothers me, like when the continuity is weird like that. But now she's kind of flirting with him.
Like she wants to bang the 16-year-old kid.
It's a gentle implication, but it's there. It's like...
Oh, it gets there way more later on in the movie.
They fuck nonstop.
Well, no,
they don't.
That doesn't happen, but way later in the movie, it gets way more...
Yeah, there is a lot.
Way more implication going on.
Yeah, and she doesn't say how old she is, but if you're saying no to a 16-year-old, you're probably too old to then say yes to a 16-year-old. But yeah, so... Oh,
and also, Eggsy takes the douchebag...
Oh, yeah.
the douchebag dog tags. Some leather bracelet.
He's got like a leather bracelet. He like goes over and he like takes it off.
And he takes it off
like you imagine like a soldier taking the dog tags off a fallen comrade.
At which point now, Eggsy now becomes my favorite character in
the
entire movie.
Best.
I hated him in the very beginning, and then he becomes the surrogate for the audience throughout the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like...
Anytime we would say something, he would then say it.
He would then say it 30 seconds later, and he was the best.
And it was also fun having him kind of had that like tough guy urban accent, but like screaming and being terrified.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, bruv! We gotta get the fuck out of here! Like,
he would say bruv all the time.
Yeah, bruv. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
So now you get to... There's a part where like they gotta crawl through a fence, and there's like some close calls.
Yeah.
That's where the Asian tour guide guy dies. He gets shot. By
Franco.
The boyfriend, by Franco, because
Yeah.
he gets bit, and he's standing there like he's gonna turn into a zombie eventually, and Franco just shoots him in the head with a pistol.
Yeah.
And then the girlfriend's like, "Oh, is this how you acted in war?" Blah,
yeah,
blah.
and I mean, which is the more humane thing to do, like...
I mean, I go around shooting people in the head now.
Yeah, which is less humane, but...
still, I mean...
life is pain, we kill him. But no, like, you know, that's the more humane thing to do rather than let him suffer and then kill him.
If I was in the zombie apocalypse, I'd just walk around shooting people in the head.
Just assuming that they're going to turn into zombies
just
someday.
all people I saw, just dead.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah. Less people to combat with. But,
that's what you want.
Yeah, you know.
Less companionship in the apocalypse. So he does that, and she's, like, upset with him for a second, and he's like, what, are we not talking now? And, like, literally 1 minute has gone by after this. Yeah.
So now they get to the facility, and they go underground, and, first, before they get to the facility, Hippie Girl dies. Yeah, we find out Hippie Girl, they make her admit what she did.
Oh, yeah, Billy Badass is like...
Badass is like, tell us what you did.
He's like, I saw you sneaking around. I'm fucking Billy Badass. I'm everywhere all the time.
So, they're like, oh, tell us what you did. So she admits it, and now Eggsy is pissed off because he was trying to bang this girl, and now he's like, morally, I can't bang this girl because she's bad.
Even
me, I can't bang this girl now. And
pedophilia is no longer the biggest issue.
Statutory rape is no longer the biggest issue on this island. So now she ends up dying. She saves his life.
Yeah, they kind of get split where Eggsy and her go off in one way and the other three go off another way. And she kind of like puts her arm in the way of a zombie to save him.
But right before that, Billy Badass does this thing when they get split up. They're on opposite sides of like this hallway, and there's zombies down the middle. And he does like these military hand signals over to Eggsy.
And they're both like
Eggsy's supposed to know what the fuck that means. He does like a spinning helicopter finger and like smacks his hand on his fist a couple times. Who the fuck knows what that means?
Yeah, imagine like you and your friends as kids playing Army Guys. This is what you would do, but apparently everyone knows what it means.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, okay, I'll do that.
Oh, perfect.
So they immediately respond and run off.
So they run off. The girl gets bit because she tries to save Eggsy. And then, as he is running away, the crowd of zombies is coming towards her.
This is great.
And the one zombie runs up, and it looks like he fucking headbutts her like an Irish soccer hooligan.
Yeah, it looks like a
wham!
Like, you know, normally people would get, like, tackled, like, but it really looks like he fucking just headbutts the shit out of her. And it was kind of jarring, and it was nice to see.
Yeah, so, then
Not that I think violence against women is good. I think it's bad. Just pointing that out.
so anyway, Eggsy gets away.
Yeah.
And
thank goodness.
They end up now all back together at the facility. And they go down to this thing, and there's a dark room in there.
Oh, yeah, it's just this big, empty,
dark
room.
Dark room, and me and Casey go, why the fuck would you go into this big, empty, dark room?
And he goes, wait,
goes,
I have the exact quote. He goes, we're willingly going into the dark place?
At that point, it cemented him as my favorite
We're like,
character of all
yeah,
time.
he's the one, he gets it.
So now they work their way through this dark room, but it's like cattle caged. Like a maze of like cage that they have to work their way through.
Yeah.
Then they get to this area where there's like heat lamps all around it.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was
an electric fence.
Oh,
well, then there's an electric fence in front of them.
Oh yeah.
And Billy Badass touches the fence, gets a little shock, then just takes his cotton T-shirt and grabs onto the fence and moves it out of the way.
Like that would stop any electricity.
You know, cotton insulates against electricity.
It's like rubber.
Then they get into this room, and a zombie drops down from the ceiling on a chain.
Yeah.
And bites Eggsy, and now my favorite character.
Oh, we are just heartbroken.
I just about turned off the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I closed my eyes for the rest of the movie, so you got to finish this.
Then they make their way. So they kill the zombie, kill Eggsy. Then they make their way out.
But the way eventually they shoot Eggsy, but like.
Oh my god!
This is the closest. This is the closest to seeing one turn, is because he is sitting there and he just starts eventually just gargling blood and choking on it.
He gets bit in the neck.
It is so visceral. It is really intense.
It goes on for like a good 2 minutes. It feels like
they really let it go on too long.
Gargling on blood.
Yeah,
it's like this is uncomfortable.
Like they shot the one guy pretty quickly. I mean, they should have shot him way before this because it looked painful.
So now they go into this area, and then they they see it's a refugee camp.
Yeah.
And it turns out to keep zombies on the island, because obviously you're going to be killing the zombies that are part of it.
Yeah, running out of them.
They decide that they're going to take these refugees, and they turn these refugees into zombies.
Yes.
Which me and Casey called almost immediately in the beginning of the movie when we were discussing how are you going to keep zombies, and I said, well, you get poor people.
Yeah.
And you make poor people into zombies, because that's what I would do if I was on the island.
Of course. But so here's the weird part. Is it a good time to get into the weird part of how this happens?
Yeah.
So they mentioned that newer zombies are fast, and there wasn't really fast zombies. The heating elements they went through, and then the electric fence. Apparently, heat makes zombies older. Yeah.
So the right? Billy Badass is like, he's like, because they're like, well, how all the zombies are all old zombies. These would be new zombies, and he goes, the heat lamps. And I'm like, wait, what? Heat makes the zombie. Heat now accelerates the aging process.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, I don't know how that would work in any universe. Like maybe like break their legs or something. I don't know, but heat, or like that's the ones they tie up is the fast ones, and they let the slow ones walk around, and eventually the newer ones will age. Nope, just like put them in a slow cooker for a little bit, and then they'll get old.
So now all the zombies come out of nowhere in this refugee camp. They run through the door. Now there's only 3 people left alive at this point. It's Kate Beckinsale, her boyfriend,
Knockoff Franco,
Lil Franco, and Billy Badass.
Yes. And
so now Billy Badass bars the door. Lil Franco runs up the chain.
He bails on Kate Beckinsale.
Immediately jumps up the chain.
Yeah.
Right up there. Like he climbed ropes in gym class like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he did.
And he's bam up the chain. So now she's holding the door with Billy Badass.
Yeah.
And Billy Badass is like, go up the chain. And she's like, no. She's like, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, no, you go up there, take the information, and make sure all the information gets out to the whole world.
Yes.
So she goes, all right. So she climbs up the chain. Way faster than I think it should have taken her.
Yeah.
Because I feel like climbing a chain, number one, is hard.
Yeah, I even said, like, grabbing a chain, like, and hold, like, they're hard to, like,
she wasn't, like, a strong, like, jacked-looking girl.
Yeah, you can at
she was,
least,
like, a normal-looking girl.
You can at least imagine, like, Franco was in the military in some aspect.
He's used to climbing ropes.
But, yeah, she fucking flies up this thing.
She's
whatever.
up the thing. And, she looks down, and then, Billy Badass.
He opens the door and just fucking runs and
runs and starts shooting the gun.
Trying to take out as many as he can.
You're like, he should have given Beckinsale a gun, but whatever.
That's fine. It's a movie.
So they go into. So she crawls through the thing.
Oh yeah, he abandons her, right? Franco?
Franco abandons her.
Yeah,
He runs away.
I thought he climbed up and was going to help her up.
No.
But no, he just fucking took off.
Yeah, he takes off. She ends up now in back into the main resort area.
Yeah, in a bedroom or something like that.
Yeah, something like
conference
that.
room, bedroom,
like a conference room
something.
thing. And Franco comes through the one door, and he's gotten bit by a zombie. And he closed the door behind him because there's zombies in the hallway.
Yeah.
And she has a gun now, and she has it pointed at his head.
And she has not killed the zombie yet.
Yeah, not killed the zombie yet.
And I called it. I called that she was going to shoot him, and he was going to get bitten, and she was going to shoot him. And she points the gun at him, and I went, I fucking knew it.
And then she handed him the gun for him to shoot himself.
Yep. I was like, damn it!
And then she runs away.
And there was another dead body with another gun, which she picked up.
Yeah, she runs away. The door opens, and you see him put the gun underneath his chin, and he blows his own brains out.
Like a big pussy.
And then she runs away, and now runs into the woman that runs the zombie island.
Yes.
And immediately, because the woman's like, oh, we need a distraction so we can get to the boat.
Yeah.
And then immediately, instead of trying to help this woman,
She's
confronts her about changing the refugees into zombies.
They are surrounded by ravenous zombies, and she's like, I know you're the bad guy!
Yeah, immediately
Not
decides...
okay, let's get out of here, and then I'm gonna fuck you over, is like...
It was terrible.
Yeah, is like, haha, we're gonna fight. And then they literally struggle for the one gun.
And then zombies all come in.
Yeah.
They eat the woman who runs the thing.
Yeah, and then this is the last time you see that same zombie who pointed and yelled.
Exactly.
Kind of is like walking towards her, so...
Yeah, so she gets eaten.
But
Kate Beckinsale runs
She
away.
kind of fucking is, like, bobbing and weaving at first. Like, she really is getting past those zombies pretty impressively.
Yeah.
Which was nice to see.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale runs away.
Yeah.
Gets chased by all these zombies. And then all of a sudden you see the countdown on the screen gets to 0.
Yeah.
Airplanes
She
fly
finally
in.
breaks outside and she's running and, like, there's just this like
massive CGI zombies.
horrible amount of CGI zombies. It looks really bad, but whatever.
It looks like the zombies climbing the wall in Daisy.
Oh yeah.
It looked as bad as that.
It looked as bad as that, and so they're all chasing her.
And now the airplanes fly in. They drop bombs all over the island. She jumps off the cliff, lands in the water.
Yes.
Then there's a military helicopter that they fly in.
Yeah, and obviously she gets
they
saved.
Pick her up. Movie should have ended there.
That would have been a good
point.
ending.
And then it doesn't.
There's one part that I'm glad they showed, which we'll get into.
So now it goes into the end game, and now it's back to a news report again.
Yes.
And they're talking about how there was one survivor, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they show this guy sitting in a bar, and they pan to his face, and it's Billy
Guess
Badass.
who, baby? Billy Badass. He fucking shot his way through all those zombies and escaped, and you saw the back of his head, and I threw my hands up triumphantly. Because I fucking knew. God dang Billy Badass.
Yeah, so Billy Badass
So
is still alive. And she releases all of the information on the zombies.
And there's like more new shit. Like, oh, now it's like there's like controversy over like the...
And they're like, oh, well, the
refugee
FEMA
thing.
Go out of business.
Like,
and
who
she's
cares?
on the beach. And then all of a sudden it zooms down.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. This is what I wanted to say. When the movie first started, I said, because they're on an island, I said, how would the zombies get off the island? How is this a world problem? Can they swim? And then...
Then at the end of the movie, the zombies all come running onto the beach to go after the refugees. So apparently these zombies could swim, so they probably could have gotten off the island at any point beforehand as well.
So...
So, I mean, a minor plot hole there. And that is the entire plot of Resort there, summed up in a little under, 40 minutes.
Yeah, okay, not bad. We did miss one thing. Hakuna Matata, motherfucker.
That was my favorite line in the entire movie. So at one point, Asian British kid, Alfie shoots a zombie and goes, Hakuna Matata, motherfucker.
At which point, Mike and I started singing Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, because...
Which we are wont to do sometimes, is just sing a song.
It's a wonderful phrase. But it means no worries, so I'm confused why...
Plus it ain't no passing craze.
Yeah.
So, that was the movie.
Not a terrible movie, terrible ending.
Yeah, the ending kind of sucked.
Decent movie.
They did at one point at the ending where they swab her mouth, like, as she's walking down the street, because I guess that's what they said in the IMDb thing, was like, they're keeping zombie outbreaks away to make sure no one's a zombie. And that was the only point where you see that, is at the end, she's walking through police checkpoints in, I don't know, London or wherever, and they swab her mouth to make sure she's not a zombie. That's the only point where that happens, where we're like worried for the world. Like up until this point, we assume the world is safe, and Justice Island has zombies. But I don't know, whatever. Yeah. So that is The Resort. Any other topics we want to talk about?
No, I mean that was really that's really it.
That's it.
I mean, we do have some trivia from the movie.
Yeah, if you got any good trivia, let's hear it.
Apparently, it's in the Canary Islands, is where the island actually is.
Okay.
Somebody was able to track that down. That's in the Canary Islands.
Nice.
And that it's Mallorca is the name of the country it's in.
Okay.
And it was the resort that they used to film the movie was also used in a movie called The Night Manager with Hugh Laurie in it from House.
I have never heard of that movie, but I have heard of House before.
Yeah.
He's a doctor who's kind of a jerk, but he's got a heart of gold, and he's really smart.
And also in the spoilers, under the trivia, is that the main character, Kate Beckinsale, didn't kill even one zombie.
Yes, she did not. Which is kind of I don't know, what's her like character arc? Nothing. She really doesn't have an arc, does she? Because we have no reason to believe that she's overcome her fear of zombies. It's only gotten worse.
Pretty much,
probably.
Yeah.
She's just now has like double PTSD. So that's fun for her. Good upbeat ending. Yeah, I hate how when horror movies think they need to like provide one final shock. Like, I would have been completely satisfied with the ending of... I would have been satisfied with her just getting picked up in the water. I was very happy that Billy Badass got picked up. But yeah, that's whatever. It is what it is.
But they left it open for, like, another movie? But I don't understand why they would ever want to create a second one of these, considering... I was looking here, its opening weekend, it only opened in Spain. And its
really?
Opening weekend, it made $2,000.
Oh, that's a lot, though, right? How much are movies cost?
The budget for this movie was $5 million.
Okay, so
estimated $5 million, and it made $2,000.
That's surprisingly low for what I consider to be a fairly decent movie.
It was a fairly decent independent zombie movie.
Yeah, $5 million is low.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was good for that. Would you recommend this movie to someone?
Depends what they're looking for.
Okay.
If you're looking for a non-stop action kind of zombie movie, like, let's say, like, the Dawn of the Dead remake that they came out with.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a movie like that, where it's non-stop zombies, non-stop shooting, no.
Yeah, it's not really that.
It wasn't really that, but if you're a fan of zombie movies, I'll put it that
which
way.
we assume you might be if you're listening to this dumb podcast.
Yeah, if you're a fan of zombie movies, I would say yes. But it wouldn't be, like, at the top of my list of, like, people that you're trying to get into the genre. I wouldn't be like, oh, have them watch The Resort.
Yeah, if you're, like, I don't know, if you're, like, home alone, drunk one night, and you're like, oh, this movie's on, whatever, watch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't change the channel if it was on TV. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel the need to search it out.
No.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's it. How do we wrap this up? Do we do plugs? Let's see. We have right now we have a Twitter account, which is Zomboys at Zomboys Pod. So ZOMBOYSPOD. All right. So if you want to follow us, once we start releasing these, because this one's going in the what do they call that? Going in the can for a little bit. Once we start releasing them, I'm sure we'll start posting the next movie we're gonna do. So if you want to watch it. You have any like questions or want to say anything we missed?
Keep it to yourself because I don't care.
Well, I'll be manning the Twitter, so just let us know whatever. Just send us cool links of zombie stuff.
I'm gonna hack into the Twitter and make fun of anyone that decides to post to us.
Listen, if you say something dumb, we're gonna make fun of you, but it's with love, you idiot. But yeah, so do that with whatever.
Savages and idiots.
Savages and idiots. I would also like to plug my own personal thing if we ever put this podcast out there. I have an Etsy store where I sell my art. Check it out. It is Casey Lynch Studio at Etsy. CASEYLYNCH. And you can figure out how to spell studio. And that's it. And keep on watching zombie movies.
Yeah, other than that, enjoy watching zombie movies. We'll hit you up in a week with another episode.
Yeah, and don't forget, aim for the head.